Good morning. I'm going to call
conference
for
will
the town
now
of
be
Ocean Ridge
recorded.
Magistrate Code Enforcement hearing. Today is November 7th already by Verizon's time. It is 10 a.m. My name is Amity Barnard. I'll be the magistrate for this morning's hearing. I think all these cases are violation hearings for this morning, so a little bit about process. When you hear your case called, the city will put on, the town will put on its case first, call any witnesses who will either be over here to my left at the blue chair. When they're finished with their testimony and presenting their case, you will come to the podium that is right in front of me. You'll be able to present any documents, any verbal testimony, cross-examine any witnesses that the town calls. At the end of the back and forth, I will make a final ruling and you will get an order in the mail. The first thing I'm going to do is swear anybody in who's testifying on any of these items. So if you're here to speak on any of the items, if you could stand and raise your right hands for me. And does the town have any witnesses that need to be sworn?
Just the town clerk.
Okay, very good. Do you all swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much, and I'll turn it to the town to call their first case.
Thank you, Your Honor. The town will call case number 2023-04. This property within the town of Ocean Ridge is at 5497 North Ocean Boulevard. The owner is Ocean Boulevard Fayette Drive LLC. We have provided you with the town's packet regarding the notice of violation and service for today's hearing. This is a violation of work without permits, and the town clerk can speak to the violation itself.
Okay, we had a complaint that there was work going on over at the property. We sent a code officer over there to review it. He did notice that there was work trucks and spoke to somebody and said that yes, they were working. He told them to shut down. We put a notice on the door and then gave them so long to come in. After no response, then we did send out a notice of violation and notice of hearing. And they did come in and get a permit, but it was after the due date of the 14 days that we gave them.
So a permit has been issued?
Permit has been issued.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, we are looking for it to be a violation to have been with no fines, but the town is seeking its cost of $181.36.
So essentially you're asking for a finding of fact, so if they do it again, they're subject to repeat. Okay. Is the code enforcement officer here today or no?
No.
Okay. I guess what I need the town to do is establish on the record if you can give me the specific dates of service, if the city clerks or the town clerk sent them, if you can just have those verbally on the record.
For when the notice of violation was served.
And the notice of hearing.
The initial stop work order was on 8/17. The sent out date, oh gosh, I can't really see from here. The first one, it looks like August 24th, 2023, and then the
For the notice of violation?
The notice of violation, yes. That was August 24th. It was posted, I believe, that same day. And then the applicant had then asked for it to be postponed. So we sent a revised one out on October 2nd.
Okay, so this was originally set for an earlier hearing. It looks like
Correct.
There's an affidavit of posting for the notice of violation that says the notice of violation was posted on August 23rd. That's consistent with the green card, which you have a signed green card there. So you subsequently sent, let me just find the notice of hearing for today, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
After the request for postponement.
It was an email.
Yes, I have that in there.
And who's here on this case?
I am.
Okay, very good, sir. Can you come to the podium and give me your name?
Yes, ma'am. Mitchell Hassman,
Spell your last name for me.
Hassman.
And your relation to Ocean Boulevard Fayette Drive LLC?
I'm one of the owners on the LLC.
You're one of the owners, okay, very good. All right, a bit of housekeeping. So you see on what's scrolling on the screen is the same thing that I'm looking at on this, whatever this is, surface. These are the notice documents. Do you have any objection to these documents being entered into the record?
No.
There's also photographs. What the city is saying today is that they were, I guess, received a complaint about work being done without a permit. Somebody from the town went out, spoke to the workers on site. It sounds like you've gotten the permit issued by the town now, so you're in compliance. What the town is asking me to do is find that you violated the town's code. It's in short terms called a finding of fact. So all that it means is if the same violation occurs on the property in the next 5 years, the town will tee you up on repeat violation. They won't have to give you any time to cure the violation. They'll just, the first day they see the violation happening, a fine will start running immediately.
Okay.
If you don't do it again, it means it is of no consequence to you. But they just want to make sure that you're found in violation in the event that it does recur. Do you have any explanation for why work was done without a permit? Was it just an accident, or the contractor was supposed to have a permit?
Originally it was an accident, a little bit of miscommunication. The
Okay.
person I bought the house from had submitted all the permits with the same contractor, and we took over when they submitted originally in October of last year.
Okay,
And I guess the mistake was the contractor thought, because he already had submitted them, they were ready to go. So they did start demolition, but nothing more.
and some kind of change of contractor was required, or some kind of,
Yeah.
okay, a
They
new
didn't
permit?
realize you had to redo the whole paperwork all over again,
Okay.
even though we're using all the same drawings.
Okay. All right, so essentially what that means today is, I mean, I think it's clear from the testimony, from the photos, and from the fact that a permit was subsequently issued, there was a violation. The town's not asking for any fines. I can't impose any fines because you complied just after the time specified in the notice of violation. What they are also asking for is their administrative costs in the amount of $181.36. If and when I find you in violation, they're entitled to those costs, so it's just to cover their costs of bringing you through this process
Sure, I
and
understand.
paying everybody that has to get paid to get you here and before hearing. Anything else that you'd like me to hear?
No, I have nothing else.
Okay, any objection to the documents being entered into the record?
No, no objections.
Okay. With that, in case, anything further from the town?
No, Your Honor.
All right, with that, in case 2023-004, I'll enter the town's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the signed certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting, that you had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of both town staff and the respondent, that the respondent was in violation of section 67-51 for doing work without a permit, and also Florida Building Code section 105.1, but that the violation was cured. However, it was not cured by the date specified in the notice of violation. So I'll issue an order of finding violation, but that order will indicate that you're now in compliance. I'll also assess the administrative costs for today's hearing in the amount of $181.36. And that's typically payable within 30 days, so just get those paid, and then this becomes a non-issue. Don't do it again for 5 years, and you'll be fine.
You said they'll mail that to me?
They'll mail you a copy of the order. I'll send it to the town this afternoon, so you should
Okay.
get it. If you want to, they can probably email it to you too, if you want it via email, if you leave your email address with the clerk. But yeah, you'll get an order in the mail.
Okay. thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Do I have to wait for this?
You're done.
Okay.
Okay, Your Honor, the second case on today's agenda is case 2023-005. The property owner is Ruth A. Duffler Trust. The address is Douglas Drive in the town of Ocean Ridge, which is directly east of the property at 5004 Old Ocean. It doesn't have a street address for the property. This is a violation of the town's code regarding trimming without a permit of sea grapes that are at this property. This is essentially the dune crossover
Okay,
to the beach.
to the beach, okay.
We do have the property owner's granddaughter who is present here, who has power of attorney.
Okay,
And we have the town clerk who can testify as to the background on this case.
We received a complaint of trimming over on the dunes without a permit, so I did send somebody over there to review it. And yes, they had, the person went over, Public Works Superintendent went over, verified that trimming had been done, and had testified that it was below the standard required height of the trimming that is allowed by the DEP. And so I did give her a call. We talked. I tried to explain to her, that she could not, one, trim below the height, and two, she could not do it without a application permit to trim. And informed her that she had not paid the annual fee for the year. I'm not sure she completely understood, but I did, try to explain to the best of my ability. The very next day, got a complaint that there was trimming going on again. So we sent officers out there and they stopped them. I don't know if it was before or after they had actually started, but they did tell them not to continue. And we then issued a notice of violation.
And is there any permit applied for yet? Or
They have
obtained?
paid the annual fee for this year, but no permit has been applied for.
And what's the annual fee for?
It's per code. They charge $75 annual fee, so that way each time that you trim, you don't have to pay every time.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you're here for this one?
Yes.
Good
And Your
morning.
Honor, just to clarify, we are looking, like with all the trimming issues, we are looking at this as an irreparable violation. That given that this is sea grapes, that the trimming, it doesn't appear that it is as substantial as some of the trimmings we've seen. So the town is seeking a fine of $250, plus its court costs of $172.80.
So that $250 is a one-time fine?
Just a one-time
Okay.
fine. Correct.
Okay, your name, ma'am?
Mariah Neffley,
Spell your last name?
Knefely.
Okay. And you're the granddaughter? is that
I'm
what
the
you said?
granddaughter, power of
Okay.
attorney, and
Okay.
trustee.
POA and trustee. Okay, very good. Okay, so you see the documents that have been scrolling across the screen.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection to those documents? Obviously, you received a notice because you're here this morning.
Correct.
What, you had a landscaper?
So she has a old man that comes and takes care of her yard.
Okay,
My grandmother's 86 years old
okay,
and not 100% intact anymore
okay,
mentally. And so she has this man come and she went and got the $75 annual, I don't know the term.
whatever the fee is,
The
yeah,
fee.
sure.
She, in her mind, and still in her mind,
That's done.
she got the permit and, just is completely baffled as to the process. I've explained it probably 30 times. I know Kelly has as well, and the police officers and code enforcement. It is not sinking in. I've spoken to the landscaper and he knows now, don't touch the
Don't
dune
touch the
unless you
dune,
talk
okay.
to me.
Okay.
So, I think this was a pretty big misunderstanding.
Okay,
The, other thing I wanted to just kind of put out there is they bought this property when I was, I think, 5 years old in 1984. There were 2 Australian pines on the property. There were no sea grapes. I'm not sure how the sea grapes even got there. But my guess is it's kind of blowover from the property just south of it, which is owned by like a woman's gardening group. While we're on that, my grandmother believes that is infringing, that whole property, the vegetation is now infringing on her property. So I don't know if that's something we can take a look at, but.
yeah, that's, if you have a complaint, you can make a complaint, code enforcement complaint, but do that to the town.
Okay.
And I do
separate
believe
from
that's
this
the
process.
town's property. It is the town's property, so we can have the public
Public
works
Works look into it.
look at it and
Okay.
see if it may need to be trimmed back.
Yeah, so there was never vegetation on there before other than those 2 Australian pines. And it was just a dune covered with, pine needles and those little Australian pine cones. That's how it was my whole life growing up until, I'd say the last 10 years, it's kind of morphed and gotten this vegetation on it. So she never took care of these things. My grandfather passed in 2017. She's just trying to do the best she can.
I like her thinking. I paid the $75.
Yeah.
I must have a permit.
And she keeps waving it. I finally took it from her because she waves it at me all the time. And I said, well, you know, there were more steps in the process.
Right,
And
right.
I'll take
Close,
care of
close,
those
but
for you next time you
not
want
quite
to.
there. All right, so I appreciate your additional information. I guess from the permit requirement, I certainly don't have a problem imposing a one-time fine, but the town still also needs a permit to be issued, right? So do you need a
I
compliance
mean,
date
at this
or?
point, we don't need a permit to be issued, but if she's gonna do any further trimming, then they will need the permit.
Yeah.
So they're done with whatever the gentleman was doing, that it's all been
Oh,
trimmed and
yeah.
it's done?
I put
Okay.
that just to bed.
You
And you guys
ended
did
that?
too.
Okay.
So I think he's terrified to even look at the deal.
All right, so no permit requirement from the town going forward, okay.
I mean, if they're gonna trim.
Yeah, right.
If they're gonna trim.
Right, but
If
for
they're
this
gonna-
event,
The next,
okay.
Right.
So essentially, this would be, in essence, a finding of fact as well. They violated for not having a permit, but because they're done,
Right.
it's, okay. Okay.
And I know she is a little to deal with, so again, I apologize for that.
That's okay.
All right, any objection to the documents on the screen being entered into the record?
No.
Okay, very good. Anything further you'd like me to hear?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Anything further from the town?
Thank you.
All right, in case 2023-005, I'll enter the town's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that you had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs and testimony that there is a violation of section 66-161B and F for trimming of the sea grapes without a permit. I'll have the order reflect that the trimming has been completed, that the violation was, because it is a discrete event, was irreparable and irreversible in nature. So a permit is no longer required. And I'll assess a one-time fine for that violation in the amount of $250. And I'll award the town its administrative costs in the amount of $172.80, payable within 30 days.
May I ask that you send that to me? It'll go a lot smoother.
Yeah, just make sure they have a way to get in touch with you.
Yes,
Okay, very good. All right, thank you, ma'am, for appearing, and you'll get that order from them.
Okay.
Okay, thanks so much. Anything further from the town?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, and I inadvertently skipped over item A. The minutes from September 5th, 2023 are adopted as drafted, and if there's nothing further, I'll adjourn at 10:18.